Hey athletes, we're talking bodyweight rows, so let's see what one looks like up close. Alright, so a few tips about these. So the whole point of doing a bodyweight row is we're trying to affect our rowing muscles, right? The centers of our back, our lats, maybe even our biceps a little bit, but not primarily, and certainly our grip a little bit. But again, our biceps and grip, we're not necessarily trying to burn those out. We're trying to really affect these muscles here. So, what helps most athletes, and they don't usually notice this, but there's a little crease in my hip. What that's going to do is it's going to prevent me from using my lower back too much. And again, it's going to help keep my angles a little bit better. That way when I'm going in this straight line, I can activate my back a little bit better. So let's watch that again. So again, notice I'll come straight up, and it'll again allow me to squeeze my back together. And that's another thing, is I'm actually trying to pinch my shoulder blades together. That way my shoulders can come back a little bit. It's all back here that I'm feeling it. Okay? Now, my wrists are as straight as can be, and my elbows are back. I usually use the cue, pull with your elbows, okay? Because if you think with your hands, you're most likely going to do one of our faults, which I'll show you later. But notice, I still have my hips creased. And it almost looks like I'm doing a rocking motion through my whole body, and it's just my upper body doing the work, because that's exactly what I want it to be. So look at my whole body, from my rib cage to my knees. These angles all stay relatively the same. And again, that's because I'm trying to activate my back, not use my legs the best that I can. Now, if I'm starting to burn out, sure, I can use my legs a little bit, but I would always recommend, if you're starting to burn out, take a couple steps backward. It'll make you stand up a little bit more upright, and it'll take some of the pressure off. So, let's see what happens when bad things happen to good people. So let's scurry ahead. So I get a few good ones. Oh, and one final thing before I forget. Notice how I'm extended through here, right? I'm almost taking my sternum here, my collarbone, and I'm trying to lift that sucker through and up. But again, while I'm doing this, I'm not arching in my lower back. That's something we want to avoid. Again, I'm trying to use my mid to upper back to do most of this. Again, let's see what happens when we do something incorrectly. So, first mistake, your hips are too extended. Now you can see immediately my body angles changed a lot, and I extended through here, right? My lower back is on, and I'm in this huge awkward curve. And let's see what happens when I try to do a row from there. So as I pull up, you can see at the top here, my hips came way up, and if you see, my elbows are a little bit down instead of back like they were back here a little bit more. And also, you can see that I'm straining in my neck a little bit. My legs had to help. My butt's on a little extra. It's not a really good, pretty picture. So let's see that again, just so you can see what happened. So again, super arched. I'm coming up in a very arched pattern, and my wrists even had to bend a little bit in order to get me into that position. So really, I'm using my biceps, and most likely, my upper back in here is doing a lot more work than I wanted to. So, what other faults can we do? So I snuck forward, because sometimes when you're too low, again, bad things can happen. A lot of times people will throw their hips at it. So look at this. Let's see it in full speed. Throw my hips at it to get up there. That's a tall tale sign. You need to back it up, bud, and you need to make it a little bit easier. Also, kipping, and now watch this. You see right there, throwing my body around, my wrists bent? That's immediately going to put it into my biceps here. And if we go really slow, look at my top position. Okay? I'm even making a face for the camera. Look at this. Hi. Anyway, my traps came into play, right? My shoulders rose up. I'm essentially turning this pull into a pectoral and the front of my delt, right? My front shoulder and biceps. That's what's doing this work here. By no means am I using my back by any normal thought. But also, my lower back, that's not even helping. I'm seriously using all of these muscles that I shouldn't be, because again, when we're doing a row, what muscles are we trying to affect? Our mid backs, right? So again, this is way, way away from where I want it to be. So, just so you guys see a few good ones, let's see it full speed. So again, hips are bent a little bit. I'm pulling with my elbows. And again, at the top, you can see that my shoulders are down and back so that I can get it all in my mid-back. And that's a bodyweight row.